Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Cardboard Cave podcast. I am one of your hosts, John Ramos. I'm super excited of tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about the future of Commander, the acquiring of the RC from WOTC or Wizard of the Coast, however you guys want to call it. But before we go ahead and have our other hosts join in, I do want to mention a couple of things. Please, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel and or follow us on TikTok. Plus, as well, in the future, we will be announcing a new social media. We're going to be entering Instagram. So we will have all of our social media down below in the description. So pass by. And if you haven't followed us, go ahead and do so. And as well, being the fact that this episode is going to be live on Friday, I do want to mention that this October 6th, we joined up with Nerdtopia to be on their event, The Gamer Spot. And we are going to be there, and we're going to be offering a free CEDH tournament like that you guys can have fun. The thing is that there's only 12 spots available. The information of the tournament will be down below. And the only thing I have to do is just register in brainstorm.gg. The link will be on the description. But then you guys can go ahead, register with your commander. And on the day of the event, on October 6th at 1 o'clock, please pass by. Like that, we can go ahead and make sure that you are registered and accept your registration. Like that, we can go ahead and start the event. And as well, don't forget, if you guys want to spice up your commander or your decks, go to altersleeve.com. Use our affiliated code Cardboardcave, where you can get 10% off your order or the link that is down on the description as well. I want to mention as well tonight that we have a new team member. His name is John Rivera. He is going to be the new host of a new show called Put It in the Table, where he is going to be talking about board games. Let it be strategy games, deck building games, D&D, talking about how to paint figures, and much more. The great thing about this new show is that this show is going to give you recommendations, where to find the board games, Kickstarter presentations, and as well, he's going to show me how not to suck at board games as well. But this is new show that's going to be live on October 9 at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The first two episodes, I will be the main host, just like that he can, be presented to all of you guys. But then from episode 3 and on, the host will be himself, and he's going to provide you amazing content as well on TikTok and all of our platforms. So I hope you guys enjoy this show as well. And not only, we're going to go ahead and present one of our favorite directors on Hollywood, is our favorite and one and only Orengo.
Hi, what's up?
What's up, Ale? How are you doing?
All good, all good. Ready to talk about the future of Commander.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the future of Commander. And as well, just to give you guys a recap, the previous episode of Cardboard Cave of our podcast, I was the one, I made a whole video, a 25-minute video talking about the ban list as well. JP provided like his insight. Orengo as well provided his insight, but it's available on TikTok. So if you guys want to check it out, go to our TikTok channel and follow us, and as well look at all of the content that we have. All of us provide our insight in regards to the ban list. And today we're going to be giving you the insight of what happened 2 days ago. Wizard of the Coast has announced in an article that we will be presenting to you guys now. We're going to go step by step on this article. And 2 days ago, they have mentioned that they acquired RC. So they acquired the rules committee due to the situation in hand. And another thing that I do want to mention is that, and I would like to get your insight as well, Ale. So in the previous video, we had a couple of comments in regards to the RC band of Mana Crypt, Nadu, Jewel Lotus, and Darkside. And a couple of the comments were saying that the RC deserved all of our opinions plus the threats that they received as well. Myself, I wrote back to all those commenters saying that opinions, everybody has their opinions. Opinions are good, but the threats are not necessary. It at the end of the day, guys, let it be that this is your career. Let it be that you do this to vent off or to play or because you want to gather around and enjoy a couple of games with your friends. At the end of the day, this is a game. This is a card game. We don't have to be threatening nobody's lives because again, it's just a card game, guys. I understand that it's a very big hit, but we didn't need to take this to another level like it happened. What do you think about that, Ale?
I agree. Threats of violence are bad in any capacity. You are rightfully entitled to your opinion on whatever they think, and it was a messy announcement, and that's valid. And if you think like they didn't roll it out in the appropriate way, you think the bannings are unnecessary, that is perfectly good. Actually, it's good to have this type of feedback so they know what to do in the future, whatever. But always, threats of violence is never a good idea, guys, because you lose your argument when you go into threats of violence, when you tell them evil, horrible things to them. So always just voice your opinion in a very cool, collected manner, and it'll make you look good as a person. You know what I mean? Just don't be a dick. Just don't be a dick on social media, bro. Like, just be chill. Just be chill. It's a cardboard game. It's okay. It hurts. We lost a lot of money. I lost some money. I had 2 Mana Crypts and a Jewel Lotus. I lost money. But don't be doing threats of violence, guys. That's all.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So I just wanted to touch basis in regards to that. So let's go ahead and go to the article.
Yes.
Wizard of the Coast went ahead and, like I mentioned, they did an article in regards to explaining the future of Commander. And on the future of Commander, it was this announcement was posted on September 30. And Wizard of the Coast said the following: the past week has been tumultuous, whatever, for Commander fans, members of the Commander Rules Committee, and the Magic the Gathering community as a whole. Along the way, we've seen players and fans share a diverse range of passionate opinions, far too many of which were harmful or malicious. Below and over the next few days and weeks, we will be discussing quite a bit about Commander, starting with the most pressing over the past week. The conversation has escalated, culminating with unacceptable personal threats to the safety of members of the Commander Rules Committee. This is something we will not tolerate, no matter how you feel about something in Magic. It is never appropriate to threaten somebody. Everyone at Wizard of the Coast is united on this front. We will not hesitate to take action against individuals who threaten to harm community members or employees. This week also demonstrated the truly monumental task that faced the Commander Rules Committee. The Commander RC is made up of 5 talented, caring individuals, all with other jobs and lives which they must balance with managing the most popular format in Magic. It results in incredible amounts of work, time spent deliberating, and exposure to the public. Nobody deserves to feel unsafe for supporting the game they love. Unfortunately, the task of managing Commander has far outgrown the scope and safety of being attached to any 5 people. So today, in partnership with members of the existing Rule Committee, we are announcing that the Rules Committee is giving management of the Commander format to the game design team of Wizard of the Coast. Commander has always been a community-focused format, and this move in management does not change that. While ownership of the format may be changing, members of the Rules Committee and others in the community will continue to be involved, and the vision for a social format will not change. We've had some preliminary conversations already about what we would like to accomplish and have some ideas we will be rolling out together in months to come. Working with the community to craft this format is critical to all of us. We have opened a new Discord channel on the official Magic Discord in the hashtag Commander News channel, and we'll also have a weekly MTG stream talking about this tomorrow, October 1 at 10 a.m. That was yesterday. So, this first whole paragraph is what we just mentioned a couple of literally 2 minutes ago. I say, in my opinion, that this was taken to a level that it didn't need to be taken. You don't have to threat people because they banned some cards. Yes, they probably did it a little bit too what's the word I'm looking for? Unscripted. They threw it out there. They were like, hey, well, this is the update of the ban list. And yes, a lot of the people lost money as well. Myself, if I would have those cards, because I used to have them a couple of months ago, I would have been in the same boat. I lost money. My CDH Commanders does not work as it should be because of Jewel Lotus and Mana Crypt. But at the end of the day, this is a game, and everything that happened these past few days, this is what was going to happen. Wizard of the Coast was going to take over, because when you get to that level of threats, somebody bigger than the group of people that are managing it has to get in.
Yeah, it seems almost inevitable, honestly. Yeah.
So do you want to add in anything else in regards to this first whole segment of the
I think it makes sense. I think given what was happening, I mean, we're talking about 5 people controlling a format, and it's a lot of pressure, and they're not protected by anything. They're just they're voluntarily doing this in their spare time, essentially. And obviously, they were probably a bit afraid of what could happen or what were the repercussions for doing the announcement the way that they did. So I guess they went to Wizards, which they probably already have a pretty decent relationship with. And, they were probably like, look, we can't handle this type of pressure. This is too much for us. It's essentially 5 people, you're not protected for anybody. So like you said, they had to cave and they had to go to WotC to essentially give them the format. In some ways, some people have argued they were kind of bullied into giving the format to WotC, which we'll discuss further if that was probably the right move or not, But yeah, that's my thoughts regarding that segment, but we should keep going.
Yes. So now what's next? What's next coming to Commander, guys? So at least before we go to the what's next, one of the things that I've always mentioned, and I think I've mentioned it with Orengo and the guys, at least in my scene, even though CEDH and Commander are a same format, but at least in my eyes, there were 2 separate things, because Commander, when you go to like the Commander events in Las Vegas, or let it be whatever state that they make them, right, in these Magic Fest, Commander, usually people bring like upgraded precons or high level commanders, but they don't run like the cards that were banned. The casual decks. Let's call them casual decks, high power casual decks, because a lot of the community that plays Commander just want to have fun. They just want to play the game. And let's say instead of having a 30-minute or 20-minute game, they want to have a 1 hour, 2 hour game and have fun, So at least that's my cup of tea in regards to those 2 formats. But let's go ahead and see what's going to happen next. While this is still very early, we do not want to share one of the things we've just started working on with the rules community. A major objective approach to deck power level and additional guidance and shared language for players to find games that match type of game they're trying to play. It isn't anywhere near finished yet, but as part of building this with the community, we're opening it up for feedback, thoughts, and your version of how this will look. Think of this like an open beta. It wouldn't be an open beta, it would be an open alpha because you're still building it. But yeah. So here's the idea. There are 4 power brackets, and every commander deck can be placed in one of those brackets. By examining the cards and combinations in your deck and comparing them to list, we'll need the community to help create. You can imagine bracket 1 is the baseline of an average pre-constructed deck or below. A bracket 4 is high power. For the lower tiers, we may lean on a mixture of cards and a description on how the deck functions. And the higher the tier are likely defined by more explicit list of cards. For example, you can imagine bracket 1 has cards that easily can go in any deck, like Swords to Plowshare. You guys have seen it before. Grave Titan and Cultivate. Whereas bracket 4 would have cards like Vampiric Tutor, Armageddon, and Grim Monolith. Cards that make games too much more consistent, lopsided, or fast than average deck can engage with. In this system, your deck would be defined by its highest bracket card or cards. This make it clear what card goes where and what kind of cards you can expect people to be playing. For example, if Ancient Tomb, this card right here, is a bracket 4 card, your deck would generally be considered a 4. But if it's part of a Tomb theme deck, the conversation may be my deck is a 4 with Ancient Tomb, but a 2 without it. Is that okay with everybody? With everyone? Will this system guarantee perfectly matched games? No. And that might be fine at your table. But if it gets the conversation started from a shared understanding, that's already great for the table. We would love to hear what you all think about this and which power bracket you would place certain cards in. We will also be evaluating the current banned card list alongside both the Commander's Rule Committee and the community. We will not ban additional cards as part of this evaluation while discussing of the ban list started this. Immediate changes to lists are not our priority. For now, the safety and well-being of the Rules Committee is the priority. What has happened this past week is entirely unacceptable. By working together as a team, we can shoulder the responsibility of this format and everything that comes along with it. And then they say that the weekly MTG October 1 at 10 a.m. that already happened. That was yesterday. Now, Ale, tell me your thoughts in regards to this second portion of the announcement.
I think the concept, this is very fun. So I have a little bit of a conspiracy with this. So as we all know, Commander has, for the longest time, had a power level system. So you go from 1 to 10. Around 4 or 5 is pre-con level. 8 or 9 were considered high power. And then CDH would be a level 10. The problem with the power level structure, which is fine in theory, but in practice, people usually think they have like, oh, say like a level 5 deck, and then people be like, no, your deck is like a level 8 or whatever. Or you say, no, my deck's like a level 7. In reality, it's like a level 3 or 4 because it's too janky. People don't know how to properly assess their power level in their decks. So the idea of a bracket system seems more coherent, cohesive, and when we get further into discussion regarding the live stream they did yesterday, it's more concise and precise because there'll be websites and apps that allow you to put your deck in your deck list, and then it'll tell you which bracket you're in based on the cards you have. Now, the idea of having a level of a bracket of just 4 levels seems too narrow. I like the idea of having maybe at least 5 levels as opposed to 4. 4 is a weird number, unless 5 might be CDH. But I think having 5 levels could work. Now, you might be wondering, how are they going to implement the system? How is it going to work? What makes a card a level 1 or level 2 or level 3 or level 4? Well, that's interesting because they've already have this system in place for a while. It's the Brawl system. If you guys remember, a while back, they leaked how they determine the power levels in Brawl decks, and it's based on a point system of the cards you have in your deck. So if your deck has, say, your very powerful commander, let's say Roscoe for the sake of my deck, I have Roscoe. If you have Roscoe, it already has a bunch of points, but it might not be able to pair with other powerful commanders that people play in Brawl, like, say, Golos, if it doesn't have any of the combo pieces. But if you have at least 1 or 2 combo pieces, it's automatically like on the highest tier. Let's say you play with a very mid-tier or low-tier or very janky commander in Brawl. That's cool. But if you play all the broken Brawl cards that you expect to play in that format, you're automatically bumped into a higher tier. And you're going to be matched with just Ruscos and Nixos, Niv-Mizzets, Golos, etc. So they already have the system in place. Now, what I would argue is everything about this idea seems cool, and it'll be more effective than just like theorizing what your power level is with your EDH deck. The problem is I don't like the idea that if you already have, like, say, one single ancient tomb, your deck is automatically a level 4. That does not make any sense to me. What they should do is implement that Brawl system that they have and apply it to EDH. You input your deck list in that app or whatever they choose to have, and then it'll tell you based on the cards you have. Every card has a certain point. Let's say, I don't know, let's say it's 1 to 10, and then like an Ancient Tomb has 10 points. And if you get to like 100 points, your deck is going to be a level 1. If you have 200 points based on the amount of cards that you have that are very high powered, then you go on a level 2, and so on and so forth. If they implement something like that, that would be great, because now we could have the possibility of having commander tournaments based on your level bracket. And that would be kind of awesome. So we could have like very janky level 1 bracket tournaments where everyone just runs the randomest, uncommon legendaries you could ever imagine and run like cultivates and jank that does not work except in that level 1 bracket. That'd be awesome. But the only other problem I could see is that this could be malleable. So they could find, like, at a certain point, I don't know, they could print something broken, or a older card could become broken because of a new interaction that was in there previously. And it might change the percentage or the point system that they might have on that card. Maybe that card used to be a 2, and then it goes up to a 4 because from, I don't know, in the next 2 sets, they print something that combos efficiently with that older card from like 20 years ago. So then how do you address that? Well, maybe the point system could work, maybe the bracket system, maybe it's constantly updating, and then you have to go into the app and kind of check every so often if your deck went up a level or down a level. In theory, this all works. In the grand scheme of everything, I'm a little worried. That's my final thoughts. I'm a little worried that WotC took over this format. I'm not too uneasy because Gavin Verhey said that he was going to implement a bunch of people in the RC that were people that play the format, or people that know about the format, people that construct cards for this format. He's going to have a bunch of these people working in the rules committee itself. So at least it gives me a little bit of hope. And I know the way that Gavin Verhey has worked on Pauper specifically. Pauper is a very healthy format. They address all the problems they have very quickly. They never lag. They never dwindle. So if he applies the same logic and through line that he did with Pauper into Commander, I think will be good. But if they don't, it might be a problem, because Wizards might take the opportunity to start printing even more broken stuff, maybe like a Moxen for Commander or something,
and they won't want to ban those powerful cards because they want to sell packs. So, and it might take a long time to address certain cards because if they're not thinking too much about CDH, for example, we might be in the same conundrum where we were already in before WotC took over. I don't know. I think at the end, it was better when it was the RC, even if they made this blunder, because it was community driven. They had no attachment to Wizards of the Coast. They had no financial how do you say this? Like they didn't care financially what would happen to these cards or whatever sense Wizards were thinking of. But now with WotC, they're going to be thinking twice before potentially banning a certain cards. And the example I can give, and this is my final thing for sure, it's the One Ring. One Ring has been dominating Modern for so freaking long, and Wizards is so afraid to ban this card because it sells packs for Lord of the Rings. And they know that this is their money machine. Like, this is the reason people keep buying Lord of the Rings sets, even after Post Malone found the One Ring, because it's a very powerful artifact. And they're very hesitant to ban that card. If it would have been like a rare and it wasn't like the biggest seller of like Lord of the Rings, it probably would have banned a long time ago. But given the fact that it's the thing sells packs, that's why they still haven't banned the card, even though they know it's really broken. So yeah, what do you think, John?
So I think that having WotC being part or taking over, it's very, at least for myself, I'm very worried about it, because even though they not being part of the RC or not, not indirectly saying that, yeah, we're making Commander an actual format, because this is something that we have spoken a lot. Most local game stores here in Puerto Rico, one of the formats that dominate is Commander, besides Modern, because I know that they still play some stores have Standard, but it's not like dominating. So, but Commander and Modern are the ones that dominate the most. But being the fact that one of the things that we have mentioned in this podcast over and over again is the fact that all of the cards in any Standard set, we can go ahead and sit down here and be like, hey, that works in Commander. Hey, that works in Commander. Oh, this is busted in Commander. Those are basically the comments that we always say when we're talking about previews, when we're talking about our top 3 favorite cards of the set. Even though this time we didn't do it, be due to time issues, but still, it's something that is constantly happening. And we've said it, that Wizard of the Coast is like pushing Commander to be a format, but they're afraid of like making it a format, and now they will. Especially the fact of what you mentioned in regards to the bannings. Yes, I think that we will see a little bit much fluctuation in regards to bans, and I know that they will be a little bit cautious due to it. I'm a little happy because we will have RC members in this group as well, people that work around these cards for Commander in multiple sets or in the Commander products. I'm happy for that, but I'm still worried. I don't know what's going to happen. And it's something that it's still like bothering me a little bit. Now, going now to the bracket. We have already in the Commander community, even though it depends on the play group, it depends on the people, right? But we had the Rule Zero conversation. And not only Rule Zero, we had already a power level, I would say, discussion from 1 through 10. Obviously, we have spoken about it. Sometimes it's a little bit, we can say, well, my deck is a 5, and then when you play the deck, it's a higher level. And I understand that happens a lot. But we had a way to communicate on how our decks work. Or if it was a full CDH deck, we don't have to say the power level. We would just say my deck is CDH. So I can win probably turn 2 or probably turn 4 if you don't stop me. But determining a power level due to one card, that's a little bit, I would say, a little bit tenacious would be the word, or I don't know what the word I want to. Tenacious, right? Tenacious, because I'm gonna use an example. So I got a Dustmorn booster yesterday, and the rare, when I read it, I was like, oh, this is good for a commander. So I got the rare is Glassworks and Shattered Yard, my bad. So it's an enchantment room that says when you pay 3 mana, when you unlock this room. Oh wait, this is not the one. I just grabbed the incorrect red card. Here we go. Now this one makes more sense. So for 4 mana, Chariot Warrior, at the beginning of my upkeep, I can exile the top card of my deck, and I can play it, and I may play it that turn. And then if I pay 6 mana and I unlock the other room, it has warp space that costs 6, but it says once each turn I can pay 0 mana rather than pay the mana cost for a spell you cast from the exile. So in theory, I can cast the exiled card. I was like, wow, this card is perfect for the War Doctor commander that I have. What if this card, not saying this is just me making an example, what if by adding this one card, my War Doctor commander, let's say, or Ali already has played with it. It's a 4 in any case. It's a power level 4, bracket 4. But let's put an example that is a bracket level 2, and just by adding this one card, that in total is 10 mana to have its full potential, 10 mana. Just because of this one card, just because I added it, because I know that it has good synergy with the deck, it turns to a bracket 3 or 4, just because of one card.
It's silly. It's silly.
It's silly.
I think it's too silly. It's too silly when it's literally one card making a difference, because you can literally, like, even the example said itself. It's like, what if you have like a precon and then you put an ancient tomb, it's a level 4, and then you have to have a rule 0 conversation about the fact that one card out of your 99 is a level 4. That's why I think a point system meshed together with this bracket system would be the ideal way to go.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, let's put it in perspective. Ale has already played with this deck before, and it's the one that I'm using. I am using more often now. Is when I sold all my CDH pieces from Shurikai, I told the guys, you know what? I actually do want to work on Davros. Is a commander that I've been wanting to work on for so long, because one, I like the effect, and 2, it's Doctor Who. And when I went ahead and I built it throughout the theme of what Davros does, I have played versus CDH high power decks, and the deck moves a lot quick. It moves good, and I don't have no fast mana. I only have fetch lands. I think I have like a couple of shock lands, and that's it. A high powered deck that does not have none of those quick mana rocks, and it can go against a CDH deck. Again, then what power level would that be? In terms of the bracket. And yes, I can say that I think I do have one of the bracket 4 cards in the deck, but is it an actual bracket 4 just because it has probably a tutor? A vampiric tutor. Let's put an example that it's in the example. So for me, I think that what Wizard of the Coast is presenting to us is something that we already established with the power level system for the commander decks, and as well, obviously CDH. Like, hey, I have a CDH deck. Yes, we are very verbal on what we say, but this power bracket thing is kind of it is kind of wonky, because Now jumping into what happened in weekly MTG. We don't have the article because normally the article goes out 2 days after. We don't have like the actual rundown of what happened in weekly MTG, but they did present it to us. I have it here. They presented to us the Commander Power Bracket. The Commander Power Bracket, like it's mentioned, so we have High Power that has Armageddon and has the Vampiric Tutor. In Power Bracket 3, we have I can't see the card clearly there. I think it's Mystical Tutor, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not. Something else. But we have Dranith, Magistrate. For Bracket 2, we have Fabricate and Thalia. And then for low power, we have the Grave Titan and Swords to Plowshare. So look at this. Bracket 3, Dranith. Dranith Magistrate is a stack piece. My people. A stack piece that only stops the game, and it's a power level 3. Ale, do you have any thoughts?
I am sorry. I was looking at an article. I was going to send you. I sent you a Reddit. I sent you a Reddit link that kind of distills what they talked about in weekly MTG, so we can actually discuss it further.
Oh, awesome!
We can discuss all their points. It's very simple. It's a very simple summary, but I think it's very thorough. Oh no, it's a bit of okay. There we go. I can see it now. So weekly MTG stream summary about Commander. We all want to see an RC reach this conclusion together. They're taking precautions to ensure the safety of the RC members, given the threats of violence that we already discussed. They still want to keep it a community-driven format. Let's see if that's true. Gavin plans to establish a committee similar to Pauper Format Panel. RC and CAG members are likely members. That would be amazing. Like I think that's one of the highlights of this. If he's able to turn Commander format into what he's doing in the Pauper format, that would be excellent. Aaron addresses the worries about profit-driven actions. I'm also here for the love of the game, like RC. Yes, Hasbro wants things. Yes, my bosses want things. I have a lot of freedom to do what I think is best. Our goal is to make things last forever. Keeping the community happy is our way to make money. Hopefully, again, I hope that's true. Mm-hmm. They want to wait until the panel is established to talk about ban lists. Beyond the initial ban list changes, they don't want to make changes too often. Quarterly ban list updates similar to RC. It won't follow the BNR or other formats, so it'll just be quarterly ban list updates. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be banning every quarterly. It just means that they're going to be talking about potential cards they might be looking into in the future. The power bracket, i.e., Tier 1 Swords, Tier 2 Talia, Tier 3 Dranith Magistrate, Tier 4 Armageddon, etc. Aaron Forsyth used to play Armageddon, which is disgusting. They aren't trying to replace Rule Zero. They are trying to make it easier. What's up there for a second? I think the Rule Zero conversation thing, in theory, it sounds beautiful, but let's be honest. I don't know about you, John, but we rarely have Rule Zero conversations. The only time we ever have them is when we invite like a guest to our Commander nights that we do in our podcast. But beyond that, like when we go to the LGS, the extent of the Rule Zero thing that we do, it's like, oh, well, what are we playing? High power? Okay, good. We're all playing high power. What is the definition of high power? Well, some people are playing CDH. Other people think they're playing high power. And other people are just doing whatever the hell they want. So it's not really that much. It's not like I'll play this Jack that it has like an unset commander, and he's like silver bordered. Can I play with like that's never happened in all the time I've played Commander. So
and the thing is, just like that, everybody can know. We in the LGS that we have been attending frequently, in tournaments, we have seen pre-cons win.
Oh, true. Very true. That's true. They've actually won, which is kind of crazy because a lot of people do play CDH or very high power. So
exactly.
Okay, so at least one person from the CEDH community will be part of the panel, which is good actually. WotC will still focus on casual commander. Let's see how that goes. They might want to implement at least every so often a CEDH Sherman, hopefully, which is good. I did talk about this last time when we were talking last week about the bans and what did it mean for CDH specifically. I did like the idea that if potentially Wizard would have taken over, the plus side would be that we would have actual price support in our commander tournaments. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to that. That'd be kind of nice. No separate ban lists. Brackets will already do that job. So that would be cool. The bracket system would make it easier. So we will all be on the same level playing field. Like if we all have our level 1 brackets, we'll play and we'll all essentially be on the same level playing field. Soul Ring isn't going anywhere. Soul Ring is a bracket 0, so to say, which is odd because they talked about a bracket 1, 2, 3, and 4, not a bracket 0. So it's a little odd.
I
don't know what that
imagine
means.
that bracket. I think bracket 0. What that means is cards that are like mostly reprinted always in precons.
Yeah, I guess
Right,
like
so-
almost auto include. So basically, like
Yeah.
cultivates, I assume lands. Yeah, probably that. You're probably right. Like basic lands. Yeah. Point system similar to Canlander is too complex and competitive for casual commander. Brawl in Arena already has decks in 4 separate categories, which is exactly what I talked about. So if you remember, I did mention this earlier when we were talking about the bracket system. They already have this idea in place, so it'd be easy to adapt this ideology to this bracket system in Commander. Jewel Lotus, Arc Insignia, Dockside were mistakes. Cards that were banned recently are the kinds of cards they wouldn't want to make today. They want to reduce ubiquitousness going forward. Let's hope that's true. They're discussing implementing more digital tools, i.e., enter your deck list and it tells you your bracket, which I love that idea. Like I said, I love that idea. They want to release first bracket articles before MagicCon in Las Vegas, which is fairly soon, right? Like, isn't this in like the end of October?
I think Yeah, let me check while you continue there.
Yes, committee will be in the range of 10 to 20 people. There will also there are also 10 commander designers working in WotC, which we can see that. Based on all the cards they've released in the last few years, they've mostly all of them have been geared towards commander in one way or another. They are not tied to a number 4. They can make the 5th bracket for CDH, which is what we were discussing earlier too. It is undecided whether the committee will be
MagicCon. My bad.
Yes.
MagicCon is at the end of the month.
Exactly, at the end of October. It is undecided whether the committee will be anonymous. Okay. At least some of the names will be known. They can divide combos into different brackets. Oracle combos, bracket 4, Sanguine Blood plus Exquisite Blood, bracket 3, etc. Which makes sense. Like, it'd be cool like to divide the combo lines based on how powerful they are. Obviously, Oracle is obviously the highest bracket. And Gavin reads Reddit a lot, which I guess makes sense. I mean, even Mark Rosewater, well, I believe he obviously reads Twitter and Reddit a lot too. So, yeah. Don, what do you think about all these announcements?
So yeah, I agree with. I have the list here, so I agree with having. Gavin plans to establish a committee similar to Pauper format panel. RC and CAG members are likely members, so I really do like that. I really am interested in the quote that Aaron addressed in regards to profit-driven actions.
Yes.
I'm also here for the love of the game, like RC. Yes, Hasbro want things. Yes, my bosses want things. I have a lot of freedom to do what I think is best. Our goal is to make things last forever. Keeping the community happy is our way to make money. The issue with that comment is the following. Your previous sets were for focused formats, but they were commander driven. I'm a little confused on the comment because when Modern Horizon 3 came out, Modern Horizon 3 had 4 commander decks. So it's kind of odd. The comment is it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I think what he means is that they're not gonna print obvious cards that are so broken they're gonna be $100 when the set is released. That they're geared for commanders, meaning stuff like a Jewel Lotus or a Dockside that are very obviously gonna break the format and will become like auto includes in their respective decks. I think that's theoretically what he's talking about. I don't know how true that might be.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, it
Yeah.
gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I don't know. At least they're aware.
Exactly. At least they're aware.
Mhm.
The quarterly ban list updates, similar to RC, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, quarterly updates is a good thing because if you remember, what was the last ban that we had? It was a while ago. Like it was like was it the whole breaker? No, the whole breach.
No, the whole breacher.
Right?
Yeah,
But that was the last time they bothered to do like a ban. So
it was
that's
whole
wild.
breacher and the is it commander.
Right,
the little otter.
The little otter,
got banned.
which was pre-banned actually.
It was pre-banned, exactly.
Yeah. So they're very infrequent with their ban announcements. So having quarterly updates just in general seems like a good thing because like we'll be more aware and we'll be expecting when they might do an announcement banning something. So you'll be like actually more prepared instead of just randomly dropping a ban of 4 cards out of nowhere after like 2 years or a year and a half of silence.
The other thing that I liked, and I'm really interested in, is the whole. At least one person from the CDH community is going to be part of the panel. I understand that Wizard of the Coast is still going to focus in casual commander. That is understandable because even people that we have played or collaborated from the TikTok community, most of them only play casual commander or high power commander. They don't play CEDH. So. Yep. It is good that we at least have somebody that understands CEDH and will give us at least a voice because you can ask Orengo, and I think I've mentioned it before here in our show. I was somebody that only played casual and I didn't even play high power. I used to play casual and upgrade the pre-con here and there, but when I learned what CDH was and high power was, then it changed my mindset in like doing more research in like, okay, so I want to build this commander. How will I build it? So I start researching other deck lists and see what works and what not works, because when I got Shorekai went through like 7 different styles before it reached to the final style that I had a couple of months ago. Because even though Shorekai was CEDH, but Shorekai had many win cons because I wanted to make it different because I didn't want to make it the same as the decks that we see usually, right? So I'm actually happy in regards to that. I'm super excited for that. One of the things that I would like for them to do is what you mentioned in regards to the comment that Brawl in Arena already separates decks into 4 categories. That's great. If they find a way, that I know that they already have it, but if they find a way to implement this to Commander and be like, okay, we have our power bracket from 1 through 4, and let's say that your local game store wants to do the tournament. I think that what Wizard of the Coast should do is do the fact that we use our companion app already to enter the tournaments. I think that for Commander, they should try and implement or join in, or this is going to sound very awful on my side. Sorry if I sound a little bit awful on this comment. Or buy out any of the websites that have that you can submit your deck list, like EDH Rec, Moxfield. I forgot the other popular Archideck. Yeah, Archideck.
Yeah.
if they have a way to have that you can go ahead in the companion, punch in the code, and being the fact that when you punch in the code, the local game store already posted in the settings that it's commander,
Mhm.
right? And then when you punch in the code, the first thing that the companion app will ask you is please submit deck list or select a deck list that you have already pre-uploaded to the app.
Yep. Good
Like
idea.
that, you can go ahead. Let's say Ale plays does not want to play Urza that day. He wants to play the Locust God. And probably I don't want to play Shurikai and I want to play Light Pause. And then the system, the app will tell you due to the power level bracket chosen by the LGS, your deck is not suited for the event, and you have to go ahead and put in a deck that is already in the power level. Or if by submitting the deck list already, it already says the power level that it is, like they can just click, enjoy the tournament, see if you win, and get your prizes. I think that this is a step forward if Wizard of the Coast does that. Again, Wizard of the Coast, if you guys want to give us jobs, we're up for it. I think that we have great ideas here at the Cardboard Cave podcast. Let's see. I think that the other final comment that I am like, sure. The other thing that I'm like iffy about is Jewel Lotus, Arcane Signet, Dockside, etc. were mistakes. Cards that were banned recently are the kind of cards that they wouldn't want to make today. They want to reduce whatever, going forward. Ridiculous cards going forward. Until the next upcoming sets come in, this comment, I don't believe you yet. I'm not gonna believe you yet. And the other thing that I liked, this is my final thing that I didn't understand it when Ale mentioned it. They're not tied to number 4. They can make a 5th bracket for CEDH. That could be your future. Combining the separate decks into 4 categories, but in this case would be 5 categories. Like that, you can implement that on your companion app. Make it easier for LGS stores to do these events, and as well, make these events in pods because people love pods more than 1v1. And having a way that you can submit your deck or your deck list easier, making it buying off a website or having a collaboration with either of these websites, I think it's the key. I'm up for it. I would love to see when MagicCon Las Vegas comes in. I would like to see how the bracket system works and see what's going to happen moving forward. See what's going to happen moving forward. And I don't know. Do you have any more thoughts in regards to the situation?
No, that's kind of it basically. I think it's we'll have to see how it goes. There obviously we're not turning back. We're not turning back. It seems like it's gonna be the way moving forward. I just hope that WotC is very aware, should be very aware that they start messing with their golden goose, which is Commander, they're gonna lose it all because everything like they went all in on Commander and now they're kind of stuck with that. It's really hard to revert back. Like competitive players every day are dwindling. Everyone which just wants to play this very casual format. So if they screw it up, if they do very horrible decisions in regards to cards that they ban or they unban, or they screw up with the formula that's worked for like 20 years already, yeah, they're gonna lose their golden goose and then they won't have anything. They'll have to bankrupt. We're gonna see the real end of actual Wizards of the Coast.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll try to remain hopeful. But honestly, even though I didn't like what the rules committee did, I do wish they still would have been separated or separate from Wizard of the Coast. Definitely.
I completely agree. I completely agree. And yeah, I don't have no more thoughts in regards to it, but just like that, we can start before we say our goodbyes. I want to mention one thing before we say anything else. If you guys like manga, I like manga. I read it I read it once in a while when I have time. Basically, I never. But if you guys like manga, obviously you guys like Magic the Gathering. I just want to tell you guys that it's up for grabs right now. You can pre-order the first issue of Destroy All Humans. They cannot be regenerated. We talked about it in the past. So it will be released on October 8th. So you can still get your pre-orders up. But this is not the reason why I'm mentioning it, because that's not the reason. Apparently, these are the promos that are going to be available. These are the promos from Japan. But apparently, these are the promos that we're going to be getting as well when you pre-order your Destroy All Humans, and it's only on the first issue. These are the promos that are going to be available in the manga.
You mean one of those, right? Not
one
all
of those,
them.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of those. There's one of them is not there. This Cabal Ritual. Cabal Ritual is on the list as well. These are some of them. So
this is a very good selection, honestly.
yes.
Very good. Yeah.
So apparently in Japan, you would get a promo from the first issue on, because this series is already running in Japan. But these are the cards that you would get, that you would actually pull, and they are random. So one day you would get duress or shock or crop rotation. Another day you bought issue number 2 and got the counter spell. So it's really cool. It's really cool. Just wanted to mention this, like that, to give the tone a little bit much more in regards of all the tension that we had in this past full episode. So tell us your thoughts on the comments below. Tell us your thoughts in regards to Wizard of the Coast, acquiring the rules committee, and acquiring Commander. Tell us your thoughts in regards in the comments. And if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of our social media is down below. And as well, if you guys want to spice up your Commander or your decks, go to altersaves.com and use our affiliated code Cardboardcave for 10% off your order. Now, Ale, where can the people find you?
You can find me here talking about sweet, delicious, yummy cardboard. Hopefully, cardboard that we don't lose to Wizards of the Coast. You can also find me in Cinemas Podcast. I recently covered the New York Film Festival. I put up on Instagram the top 10 movies that I liked. But I will be doing many numerous podcasts with Hector and some other people, talking about the movies that I saw at the New York Film Festival and some of the other movies that I saw during the time I was in New York. There's a bunch of really interesting movies that we've seen recently. And I'll be doing an episode on Joker 2 with John soon. We need to plan that out, but it'll be very soon. So, yeah.
So guys, you can find me as well. I'm a movie critic like Orengo. As well in Real In Films. I am in all social medias, so you guys can find me there. My most recent interview will be this upcoming Friday. Is going to be available on Saturday. So good, because as soon as you see this episode, you guys should see the interview the next day. So I am going to be interviewing once again. I don't remember her name, but she plays Cinder, Ember's mother in Elemental, but I'm going to be talking about Chaos, the series that's available in Netflix. So we're going to be talking about Chaos and how everything went through with her and her co-stars. So I'm super excited about that. And as well, if you guys want to just follow me in a more personal aspect, you can follow me on Instagram as CinemaDadPR. I post things that I do day to day, or quotes, or I do post the interviews that I do with the actors and directors. So if you guys want to follow me in my personal account, because I post a little bit of everything, you know, because I'm a first-time dad. I love movies, and that's why I'm going to be doing exclusive content in Instagram, on that Instagram page, talking about like good shows for toddlers and whatnot. So if you guys want that type of content, that's where you have to go. And as well, all of our team is doing great things for the Cardboard Cave community. There's a lot of things that we're planning and we're going to be doing, and there's big announcements for I don't know if it's for next year or for the next upcoming months, but pay attention to our social media. And nothing, guys. Thank you for always supporting us. I will see you guys, or we will see you guys in the next one.